Hello, welcome back to the stream. Hiya. Let's get some music going. Let's pick an album. Okay. Star Rail. Okay. All right. So um, last time we were working, we were trying to get that 2D grid to work. And then about like 5 minutes off stream, 5 minutes after the stream ended, I immediately figured it out because I had time to actually properly read my code, and it was pretty obvious what happened. I wasn't taking into account the horizontal offset pixels. So, the whole part that actually determines the scroll, I wasn't actually doing. So, fun stuff. Let's get everything started in here. Okay, so if we navigate back to our grid here, I got it scrolling, scrolls nicely. Um, except for, the fact that we can't read any of the text. There we go. So I also realized that we probably shouldn't have the side scrolling, since you'll probably want to be able to see that. So let's fix that up just a little bit. That should be really easy. Oh, we also don't want the top to scroll away as well, another thing. So I think if we keep just these as 0, then only the body will scroll. It kind of scrolls over it, actually, when it should scroll under it. So let's see if moving this to the end is of any help. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just trying to what would you call it? That's a nice one. No, I was hoping that it would scroll under it this time. Didn't seem to. Still painting over it, despite moving it around as the final children. Maybe. I don't think that there is a way to actually control whether or not something scrolls over another thing. Um, but it would be nice though. Maybe if I like set the X offset to never go below the keystone size. No. I don't think this was built for that at the end of the day. It's probably just going to be the problem. Hmm. Man, if it would just slide under. Um, Maybe there's something I can do in the child box to add like a Z. Read depth child. Yeah, I don't think that you can. Um, Not cool to have captured audience when your SO isn't allowed not to watch the stream? Anyway, hi Olex. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but welcome to the stream. Do you want to rephrase your statement there? Because I don't get it. Take your time. No rush. He called me a captive. Ah. Yeah, yeah. Poor her. Just listen to me yap. See, I even gave her a sword for protection. To protect me. Alright. If ChatGPT doesn't know, then we'll have to abandon this design a little bit. Change Z order in paint. Um, where even is the paint method? Does it even know what the fuck it's talking about? Because there is no paint method. Here, let me give it the whole context of the file. Maybe I didn't do enough. Well, there are a lot of bots that show up on the stream and ask me to pay for more viewers. I just always ban them though. Viewers for cheap. They always have really crazy usernames. They're in on the ring. They're two-dimensional viewport. Okay. Apparently there's a paint method I can override. Ah. Let's, I suppose, just try copying this. We'll rewrite all this code, of course, but right now it kind of looks. I suppose we'll see if it actually works. Ah, it actually does. What do you know? Well, kind of. The top one apparently just likes to scroll away, but it's a little bit strange right up here. It's very weird, actually. But it works. Good enough for me. All right. Now let's clean all this up. Since this is kind of unreadable. Um, Context. Okay. Um, an 8-hour stream. Wow. You stream for a long time. See, I have a real job, so can't stream that long. Although, I did kind of leave work earlier to go take a nap. You know, you actually got me this time because I was working on a web client, the web platform of a project. So you got me this time. Technically today I was a web dev. You got me. um, okay. So the top guys aren't quite correct. If I add more blocks, will it become a problem that way? Yeah, okay. Can I just half solve this by just putting a clip around this? Yeah, okay. Then I don't have to actually care. I mean, I guess I would want it to actually work properly. But well, if I just throw this in here, right, will it just work all of a sudden? Yeah, okay. Good enough. All right. Now we're ready to actually start making the fucking schedule. And this is a two-dimensional scroll table. There we go. Oh, you know what? We should actually make it so that, well, nah. I'm just gonna make it modular where like you can define whether or not there's gonna be a header or not, but whatever. Not worth it. Okay, so let's put a row. With another row. With another row. Rows on rows. We'll do blocks. And then days. We could probably turn this into a flex E. It's probably easier. And I should really rename this to axis, but that's okay. These can be const. And we can weirdly use our serving size selector for this. A little strange, but it works. This is a very upbeat song. Jesus. Too upbeat, in fact. There we go. Okay, and then we'll pass in the cycle. And while I called set state, doesn't seem to be actually changing anything. So why is that? It's because I'm constantly rebuilding the cycle. Okay, that probably is part of the reason. But not all of the reason. Cycle, cycle, cycle. Is this just not being rebuilt? Yeah, it is. So then this grid isn't being rebuilt. And that probably has to update somewhere in here. Update render object. Theoretically, when the delegate updates, so should this. And we certainly are updating it. This should be getting rebuilt because there's a new delegate. This should be rebuilt. You're very clever, Olex. Did anyone ever tell you that? I don't think your mom ever did. She'd have no reason to. But I'm here to tell you. You're a clever guy. How was your stream, by the way? I took a look for a minute before I started mine. You were working on Linux stuff? But you hate Linux. It must be because I never was calling the correct cycle stuff. That would probably do it. There we go. Were you just trying to get it to compile on Linux or something? Is that the problem? Seems a bit early to work on that. Oh, well, I guess you'd probably want to work on it sooner or later before you're Too much technical debt. Oh, I just got one of those cheap viewers messages. What do you realistically have to change? I've never worked in a project where just changing the build target didn't really, kind of solve it. Well, yes, I know, but most of like all of that stuff, all of the actual kernel interfacing is handled usually by packages. So like opening a file, usually that's in like the standard library, shit like that. But it's still standard library though. Unless I'm wrong. Not even for file IO. Because like, to be clear, you keep saying web dev stuff, but like I'm thinking of my Rust shit. So like Rust, for threading, you use something like Tokyo, and Tokyo will handle all of your threads for you, and it doesn't give a shit, what platform you build it on. It'll work on all of them. Um, yeah, Rust is web dev. All right. Okay. Got me there. Got me there. This should probably be closer to something like 150, and then this can be 250. Oh no. What the hell? Oh, okay. It just needed to be rebuilt again. It was fine. My bad. Freaked out over nothing. Maybe you should have written in Rust. Then you could be a web dev too. Be nice if there was a way to. I don't really like that it stretches past the thing here. I guess I can solve that myself by adding a border. But it would kind of double the border. which would probably look pretty bad. Oh, actually, it looks pretty alright. Yeah, okay. Not bad. Okay, so now we gotta make it so that you can click on the blocks. Which we can do here. Add an inkwell. Well, I know that is not true. As someone who works with a lot of cross-platform stuff all the time. But you'll just tell me, well, that's because I'm a web dev, so it's not a myth when you're a web dev. But I do all my debugging on an Android emulator, and then I deploy it on an iOS as a iOS app. So okay, our grid now functions well enough. It's time to start the rest of the stuff. So I suppose. We could do like a floating action button here, and then have that like do like a speed dial kind of button. Um, where it's like rest, cardio, and strength. That might look cool. Maybe. Um, I don't remember. Does action buttons come down on here or oh wait, we're not in the scaffold. Action buttons. Floating action button. There it is. Ah, I see. You see the cool thing in Rust is that that Tokyo stuff, right, that I showed you? All you gotta do is go over here and do something like spawn with a task, and then you get a join handle. It's pretty cool. Like, look at that. Ah, you don't know what you're talking about. Can't you just call fork or whatever? What's the C thread thing? Isn't it like fork? Yeah, you just call it fork. Just call it fork. No big deal. Windows doesn't have fork. Alright. C fork on Windows. I assume you can't use Cwin. Because that's, slow. Well, that's why I didn't suggest Sequin. I know, I know. I don't know. I feel like you could make a wrapper around this shit pretty okay. Like a couple minutes. On Linux, you call fork. What Windows you call this? Well, just build your own locks. It's just a boolean. Locked true, locked false. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. I use threads all the time, actually, as a not web dev. In Flutter, there's something called an isolate. Our filter controller uses threads. You missed it when we built that, but this actually uses threads over here and has a whole like passing system. Where's the isolate controller? Here it is. You have a main isolate and a child isolate, and then you sort of do send and receive across ports. And then the child isolate can do all the computation that you need it to, so that it doesn't block the UI thread. So, you know, whatever you say, buddy. Okay, so there's a speed dial package. I'm pretty okay with using this package. Dart hasn't existed for 15 years. Has it? 13 years ago. So, sorry. And it was just updated. This is also not 0 days ago. Okay. Why does it? Alright, whatever. Well, why would they make a game server in Dart? Like, you pretty much never write servers in Dart. I mean, you can. There are people who try to, but like, it's kind of stupid. Maybe as a challenge, it's fun. But like, if you want it to perform well, Dart is not what you want to write a server in. For that, you'd want Rust. 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 What are they listening to the Google people about? LLVM? LLVM wasn't made by Google. LLVM was made by this guy. I don't even think he works at Google. This was like his PhD project. I guess he did work at Google, but like that was, if anything, he worked more at Apple. Yeah, it's by its own developer group. I'm sure it's sponsored by Google. Almost 100%. Yeah. But Apple's a bigger sponsor, apparently. Um, child tap functions. I really hate how they designed this package. Whatever. Is there like a running? Running. Directions run. Okay. Directions run. Is there a weight one? Fitness center? Okay. Works well enough. And then we'll also want one for rest. Add rest. Snooze? Sleep. There's got to be one that's just Z's. There's gotta be. Snooze? No, there's no Z's? I mean, I could do the moon, but I kind of want the Z's. I don't think they actually use Objective-C anymore themselves. I think it's actually just Swift now, but at least, you know, and the Metal API is definitely in. Oh, there's a, well, primarily Objective-C. There is a C++. Okay, so yeah, it's all Objective-C. All right. Apparently there's some Swift, but doesn't mean that you could write in it, I guess. Can be invoked using Swift. Well, VM is kind of for anything. No, since as long as you transpile your code into the intermediate language, it's really its own thing. It's just coded in C++. But you can use LLVM for like anything. Rust can use it. I think Dart uses LLVM. Well, you convert your code into this little like intermediate language though. I mean, it's always a C style because everything is a C style these days, but like, well, that's only if you want to use Clang. Does GCC? GCC doesn't use LLVM, no? They have their own shit, right? Well, I know it's 50 years old, but they still update it. Um, I never actually found a good icon, did I? Moon. Bedtime. Moon and stars. Let's do that one. Let's do moon and stars. We don't have it. Do we have bedtime? Bedtime. We do have bedtime at least. Okay, it's bedtime. Then we'll add a bunch of empty anonymous functions so that we can test. Oh, wow. All right. That look fucking awful. What's wrong? Row is not of type icon data. That's true. You got me there. You don't have one that fucking lets you put the name next to it? What the hell is wrong with you guys? Is this just a tooltip? Is that what they're calling it? So it really has to be icon data? But they also let you do SVGs for like some reason, but not this one. This one can't be an SVG. Fuck you if you want the primary one to be an SVG. You know, which I probably did. Don't I already fucking have a speed dial, like, actually already made in this? Yeah, I already fucking made one. What am I doing? Oh, this one is mine. Oh, no. Oh, okay. I was complaining about my own implementation of the speed dial the whole time. Oh, fuck. That's funny. Oh, shit. Alright. Yeah, it truly is. God damn it. Okay, they just called it speed dial. Oh man, how upsetting. I mean, I think I generally, if I recall, I think I did actually kind of copy their API when I made it. I made that like 4 years ago. Not to, excuse myself here, because that was really bad, but that was sad. That was depressing. Um, this part is true. We do want that. And children. Okay, at rest. And I actually want this the other way around, but that's fine. Can you just reverse this, like, in the thing? What does mini mean? Oh, the button is mini. Alright, fair enough. We'll keep it as mini. We'll get rid of that background color. Can I set it to null so that there isn't one? Or will that just set it to the default one? Yeah. Oh, transparent. Oh, no, that's not the color I thought it was. The dialogue color. Active back, no. Um, Render overlay. Overlay color? How about this? Overlay color. Okay, that was it at least. I don't know why you're saying don't render that. Is it working? Ooh. All right. Render overlay false. There we go. But it still didn't work when it was transparent. They have to both be set. Oh, now it's working. Just didn't like it before. Fine. Fine, fine, fine. And can I change the child color? Or do I have to set it for each thing? Background color. Quite a strong disagree with you on there, Olex. I love debugging in Dart, actually. I think it's very easy. Uh, and the debugger itself is actually really nice because you can actually, properly get all the fucking things. At least I know when I work in Rust, half of this is like variable has been optimized out or just gives me like a memory index. It could be my fault, but label color. And no, I'm not referring to the speed. The debug the debug builds aren't that slow anyway. I mean, they're kind of slow, I suppose, but not that bad. Are you implying that everybody immediately compiles to release when they fucking debug? Because that's not true. Waiting for a release build would suck every time. For debugging, sure, it's slow when it runs. It's still faster than... I mean, it's not that slow. You do get like an 8 times speed bump when you like compile to release, but you can also tweak, what you want the debug build to look like. They have a whole like TOML file where you can, say, oh, well, I actually do want you to optimize during debug and shit like that. It's just because it doesn't have any flags. What was I doing? Label shadow. I mean, you're not wrong that it's slow. I'm not disagreeing with you there that the compile times are slow. Um, at least when, I mean, the compile times aren't terrible on Linux, and WSL. They suck on Windows though. I'll give you that. Windows is awful. Well, look, when it's time for me to make my Rust game engine, we'll talk. How about that? Then what do you compile with? Well, it was at least excellent in 1989. Since then, no one's had anything nice to say about it. I could edit the Wikipedia page to say that, well, Oleg says it's cool. Okay, so now we need the actual input dialogues here. So I suppose we'll want to show the rest scheduled or dialogue. And we'll pass in the cycle as well. Make a folder, call it dialogues. Do rest. We'll start with stateless. Sure. Enjoy your roast beef. Okay. Have the basic dialogue stuff set up. And we shouldn't need it outside of this screen, so let's actually make it a part of the scheduling screen. And then we will tell this guy to bring it in. Expected this library to be a part of this. If I do it like that, do you be nicer? Ah, there you go. Gotcha, gotcha. Also, M, you were correct that this album is better. The part 2 of Amphorius. I know you can't really respond because you're cooking, but I know it's true. I am pretty hungry. I hope the cooking is going well. Starving, in fact. I'm on my last legs here. Intuitive dialogue, column. All right. Schedule rest. Seems like an appropriate title. Done around 8. Well, what a coincidence, because that's when the stream ends. It's like you planned it. It's like you planned it. Oh, before we do that, let's actually not fix, but let's create the day labels. I think that will make this a little bit more obvious what's going on. Let's, yeah, 25 sounds good. Can this be 25 too? Oh, that's nice. That's perfect, actually. That gives us so much more real estate. Oh, that makes me happy. Okay, cool. Um, okay, and then in this, we're going to need um, day labels and block labels. So for day, let's make this mutable. And we will grab call it label. And in the widget cycle day labels, we can pull up day index and get our label. Then after change, I guess we're calling it text submission for some reason. We add that in. But if it's empty, then text can be null. How about that? Is this correct? Yeah, let's stick this way. Oh, no, that's a better method. We can just remove that index. If text is empty, then widget.cycle.day labels remove the index. Otherwise, we add that in there. And we do not want the edit icon. And do I have a thing for text align? Okay, without the icon, it just defaults to the center, which is great. Oh, that's a bit bad. I guess that's due to the content padding. Can I change that? Content padding. So I guess that would be in... Ooh, what is that normally in? Hey, Defercat, how you doing? You dropped a follow? I haven't seen it come in yet, but thank you. Oh, there it is. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Good, good, good. I'm doing well. Trying to remember how the fucking input decorations work on text fields, but other than that, pretty good. Oh, here it is. Happy with. Content padding, we'll do 0. Just for testing. We have too many parentheses. Okay, how about this? No, that made it way worse. So we are working on a health app. So right now, this is the sort of exercise scheduling portion of it. We already have the like nutrition journaling stuff done. I could take a moment and show you if you're interested. Just to kind of give you an idea of where we're at. So you have your day selector up here. This will kind of break down, this DNA thing is your protein. So what protein you had for your specific meal slots, meaning breakfast, lunch, dinner. You can add in whatever stuff you want, be it meals as a whole or individual foods. Then you could go over here and add stuff to it. You can add however many, servings that you want. So this is 3 servings of tomato soup. You can create food, or you could just scan a barcode. Um, Same thing for a meal. And then we got some graphs. Yeah, thank you. I think the UI kind of looks like shit so far, but we're working on it. We'll get it cleaned up. Um, and whoa, no, don't use that. How do I get out of here? Come on. Oh, my keyboard is stuck. That's an Android problem, at least. Are you a Flutter dev, perchance? The fur cat? We also do some Rust stuff, if you're interested in that. The server that goes with this is written in Rust. But it'll be a while before we end up hooking that up. Back to the scheduler. And so this right here is your schedule grid. The idea is like you determine how many blocks you do and then how many days are in a block. And so then you'll label like a particular block as like, this is, if you do something like progressive overload, this is your, your light week or whatever. And then this is your rest day, something like that. Coding or also games? Mostly coding. I've tried doing some games. There was one time I did a Wuthering Waves stream, if you know that game. It's a gacha game. That didn't go too well. I couldn't really think of anything to talk about while I was doing it. And the bitrate on the stream is so low that all the colors flying everywhere weren't very conducive. We might pick a different game some other time. Like, I play a lot of Souls games. It might be fun to run like Elden Ring or Dark Souls at some point. Is there anything that you'd be interested in? I never mind suggestions. Can't guarantee that I own the game that I'll play it, but you know how it goes. But yeah, mostly coding. So I set the content padding to 0. Why are you ignoring me? It clearly like is adding like a shit ton of padding. Maybe the dev tools will tell me. Okay, and then when I click on it, transforms, and it gained all of this extra height that I don't care about. Maybe if I add in a fitted box? Because it doesn't say it's adding in any padding. Yeah, this isn't helpful. All right. So what I can do is, well, one, after restoring this to the way it was, which weirdly made it better, even though this is 0. Hold on. If I actually set it to 0, will that all of a sudden make it happy? That doesn't make any fucking sense. No, same problem. All right, cool. No suggestions, Defer Cat? That's fine. Fitted box. Okay. That makes it like really tiny. Which that kind of sucks. Where is all this space coming from? Actually, it looks like he really didn't like my answer because I think he unfollowed. Sorry. Okay, text field. No, I still can't get this shit to work how I want. I never meant to upset him. But since I have... Whatever. I may just have to increase the height of this thing. But I was so happy when it got small. So sad. Maybe we'll just keep it as is and we'll just promise ourselves that one day, we will figure out why the fuck he did that. We could even write it to do. How about that? To do. Fix mutable text content padding if possible. I don't know why. No, I could see a reason why you would need to edit the block name. You might want to call it your light week or something like that. So let's grab this. And we'll do block index, block index. Why are they singing? Stab it. No singing in my house. Except when it's me. I'm a great singer. MB knows. And it's been rumored that I'm a great dancer as well. I can of course confirm nor deny, but these are not saving. What is the block index? Oh, this should be Y index. Is that why it didn't save? Sorry, I do not like this song. Okay, and apparently we gotta call set state. Even though I would have thought it would have just updated itself. That's fine. Alright, cool. Now we can work on that dialogue. This is a ridiculous album art. My God. Anyway. So we could do... How about repeat days? And I guess we'll wrap as many of this as we can. We'll grab our cycle. There are however many number of days. Oh, we should also make it so that you cannot say that there are 0 weeks or 0 days. If servings is less than or equal to 1, return. Same thing here, when this should anyway be called blocks, and this should be called days. So, there we go. So we'll map the days. So that's a iterable dot generate. Cycle dot days. And now we can map. Okay. And this is the day. And oop, we also have to do an unpack. And adaptive text, we'll do day. And we'll also get the label. Cycle, day labels, day. Otherwise we do this. And why are you not happy with this? Oh, it's because this should have been in the generator. Whoops. My bad. Sweet. Okay. And it is worth noting that the day index and the block index need to be decreased by 1 because actually the y index and x index count the keystone, which takes up the actual 0, 0 slot. So really, this is day 2 as the Sweet. All right. So in wrap, we're gonna need some spacing. Do some nice dynamic spacing. Same with the run spacing. That's the vertical spacing, run spacing. And deal with the alignment in a bit. We may even need a little bit more spacing here. Yeah. Okay, and now we're going to need to wrap this in a material so that it looks like you can tap on it. So we'll do a shape, rounded rectangular border, about 5, and the border side to start, how about gray? What is this song? Oh my god. Also, I guess this is the Lufo, so sorry about that. I know how you hate the Lufo, Em. There we go. All right, let's add some padding. It's a little bit tall vertically, so let's pull that down. And for alignment, let's do... Sorry, I guess it's run alignment. We'll do center. End. Center. And face around. None of this is updating. Why? Well, first let's add some padding here and some cross-axis alignment. And now we'll try that again. Why are you unwilling to cooperate? I've been nothing but generous to you. I let you into my app, and you spit in my face. Cross-axis alignment? That could be. Aha! Amazing. Oh, hey PJ, what's up, man? Welcome back. You caught us towards the end of the stream. We're about 20 minutes away from wrapping up here, but we got that grid to work, if you recall from the other day. Haha. Sure did. Beautiful, beautiful grid. The best. Anyway, man, how's your day going? And we'll want the inkwell to be out here. And we need to clip it on the shape. Clip, clip. We'll anti-alias. Nice. So we actually have to make here one, this has to be stateful, so let's correct that sooner than later. And we'll want a scheduled rest class, I imagine. Yeah. Setting up a WebSocket? You're doing it in JS, right? If I recall. It's not too bad. The client part, the server part, what are you struggling with? Rest schedule instance. What would one call this? The auth token part. Interesting. So, if it were me, since I've worked with WebSockets quite a bit, if you just want some advice, my suggestion would be start with a regular REST login route. So, you know, like just a get method on login or whatever. And then when you open the WebSocket to the server, pass in your authorization in the header part. And then before you actually enter into your big, presumably a while loop, as you know, monitor the socket messages, just do an auth check right before the loop. I don't know if that's the part that you're struggling with, but there you have it. Rest. Ooh, actually, this should be in a folder. Schedule instances. Rest schedule. Just call it rest. Class rest schedule instance. Extends will do deletable. And we always need our user ID. So let's create user ID equals user controller user ID. Okay. And we'll also want the cycle ID. Cycle ID required int cycle ID. Okay. Sorry, required this dot cycle ID. You know, Envy, I could almost go for some Bellabog music. That might be a bit crazy, but I almost could. Been a long time since I wandered around Bellabog. I know, right? So this is widget.cycle.id. Let's actually add it in. Well, if you don't save it, I don't want it to add yet, right? So let's just do this and the cycle, exercise cycle. Oh, hi Arlo. Arlo's my cat. He's tearing up my carpet. He loves that. He's so cute. Uh, cycle. Just adorable. Where'd you go? Did you just run away? Did you just tear up my carpet and then sprint away? Wow. He hates it when I stream. Where the console? Um, sorry, I'm a little bit confused. Pterodactyl? Um, Dactyl, JS? And interfaces with the client and admin API on a pterodactyl panel. Um, oh, okay. So you're not fully in charge of the WebSocket. What is the point of this? Um, okay, so let's look at the pterodactyl panel. Ah, gotcha. Okay. So it seems like if I'm getting this right, you run pterodactyl panel in its own thing, and then this will talk to your panel. So really, this is just a package to help you talk to this. Ooh, supports Factorio. Gotcha. And so you're having trouble authenticating into the panel? Is that what you're telling me? Gotcha. Okay. Um, okay. It's a pretty bare bones documentation here. I see why you're having trouble. Um, I don't even see where it's asking you to generate an API key. Doing the panel. Back up your encryption key and app key. Okay, this is just the app key, not the API key. Clean up API keys. It seems like when you run it, it places it already in the MySQL store. So creating a database, logging in, creates a user. Well, this is just logging into the direct thing here. This isn't very helpful. Ah. When you open the panel, is there a place for you to generate a key? Looking at the screenshots, probably in users, maybe settings. And then from there, it would be, oh yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, I would probably look at this. I think this is probably what you're looking for. Get WebSocket token. From there, it looks like you can actually create that connection using the the JWT that it gives you back. Um, just like looking at it for obviously like 5 minutes. That's my guess. I don't know. Sorry, man. I wish I could be of more help, but that's all I got. Um, why is this invalid? What did I do? Oh, duh. There you go. ID isn't defined yet. That's true. Very true. Because this needs to be a deletable? Deletable? Ooh, maybe you can even select between different cycles. That might be neat. So you can customize a bunch of different cycles and then set it some as your active cycle. That might be a neat idea. Yeah, I like that quite a bit, actually. Gotta reload everything now, though. Ooh, okay. That's why I didn't like the border. Hey, I said if this was equal to or less than 1, that you were not allowed to actually do that. Alright, let's add a minimum. The stop min. There we go. Then the minimum is 1. There we go. Now that works. Cool. Even though it... Why is there an extra block here? Oh, it's less than... There we go. Alright. How are we looking, MB? Should I start wrapping up? Okay, thank you. um, um, oh yeah, of course, PJ, no problem. And not to say I told you so, and you know, wag my finger at you, but I told you the other day, documentation, my friend, it's everything. Gotta read the docs. So let's do int day indices. But good. I'm glad that you're able to at least find a way forward from that, though. Bool is active. Day indices. Yeah. These should also be sets, probably. Hey, Sejin. What's up, man? I'm doing well. I'm doing well, buddy. Oh, I saw that you were doing some other thing. Like it looked like a game jam. Uh oh, I forget what it was called. It was something to do with a game. which was quite different from the Zig compiler that you normally work on. I was surprised to see it. Handmade Hero. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was it. Handmade Hero. Oh, and you're completely done now. Create a complete professional quality game. How are you working on it? It seems like it's just this guy. Cool, 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 man. It's currently on hiatus, apparently, though. Unless this is not true anymore. Did he write it in Zig, or are you like porting it? Not that I quite know what. Whoa. What the hell's going on? Stop. Episode guide. Intro to C. Basic platform API design. He does it with C and on Windows, so you're doing it on Zig with Linux. Cool, cool, cool. Oh yeah, PJ, that happens to me all the fucking time. Man, I start screaming at it because it doesn't even like I can't tell you how many times I've even corrected the code in some manner. Like whether I change the variable name again and then I put it back into the thing to say, okay, now add this other part, and it completely reverts all the changes I did between, bits of the conversation. There's so many things. Or I tell it, oh, you didn't actually do this, and it goes, sorry, you're right, let me do it. Still doesn't do it. And I go, you still didn't do it. And it goes, you're right, let me do it. Still doesn't actually do it. So annoying. I get it. That's 60 gen. I'll have to pop in and see what that looks like with Sig. Do they have like, is there an engine that it, not like an engine, but like a graphics API that it uses? Something like, I imagine it doesn't, but something like Vulkan. Wait, does Vulkan even have Zig bindings? Ooh, it does. Ish. The current build is failing, but there you go. That's pretty sweet. Background color is active. We'll do this. Otherwise, it's nothing. Same with, we'll do border color. Border color. We'll do, actually, let's match it to our text color. System library direction and use C import. Cool, cool. App is going okay. All the nutrition stuff is basically done, so right now we're working on the exercise scheduler. So the idea is you can sort of define like what you would do week to week, day to day. This is primarily for people who do like well, I guess those who just need a reminder, just like, hey, you're supposed to run on Monday and things like that. But I would be using it for something like in strength lifting, there's a concept called progressive overload, where you sort of vary the weight and reps depending on your week. So that's what this is. So right now I'm building the rest dialogue here. So the days that you're supposed to do rests. I figured that would be the easiest to start with. Why do you even think that this could be nullable? I've defined it each time. Yeah, good luck bullying it. It's a language model that does not give a shit what you actually have to say. It's just a big pattern machine. It has no idea what it's doing. I wish it did. It's so frustrating how, like, it almost feels like you're talking to a person who knows what's going on, and then, nope, not really. Rest schedule instance. Let's just call this rest. It's too long to type every time. Day instances add day. Actually, if rest day indices already contains day, then we remove it. That's better. Okay, and we also need to flip around the text color. Sorry, that song is a bit too intense for me right now. Especially as we're winding down the stream. My god. I gotta eat ziti soon. I love ziti. This should have been the other way around. Maybe we'll make the border color actually black to match our text. Okay, and let's make sure the day labels work. So we'll just call this like, nope, Monday. Also, this should have been selectable the whole time. Select all and edit true. Select all and edit true. Monday. Here we go. Add rest. You can select Monday. Awesome. And we can do the same thing for repeat on blocks. Repeat blocks. Oh. And my... Ooh, dinner's ready. No, I understand, PJ. There are times when I just... Sometimes you just gotta get something out of it. Sometimes it almost feels more productive to just kind of bang your head against the wall. So I get it. But it is dinner time for me, my friends. Thank you all for showing up. We actually peaked at 7 viewers today, which is pretty good. Well, I suppose I could just finish this part up really quick. Really quick. Super quick. Block indices. Not weak indices. Silly me. Alright. And then we'll add an async elevated icon, which is just submit. And we'll actually work on submitting this shit next time. Thank you all for showing up. Appreciate it. I hope everyone has a good evening. I'm gonna go eat a bunch of ziti, and then chill on the couch. Have a good night.